I know you gonna dig this.
And now, heard across the world, it's time for Third and One with your host, Ryan Hyde.
Welcome to episode 11 of the Third and One podcast. Today's guest is a 2018 CFL West All-Star and an offensive lineman for the BC Lions. Please welcome to the show, Sukh Chungh.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on.
Yep.
For those regular listeners, the plan was to have Dante Marsh come on as a regular co-host. Today he's got some other things happening and won't be on. But do look for Dante in the future. All right, Sukh. So what have you been up to during the COVID outbreak?
Just trying to stay in shape best I can, and a couple things around the house, a little gardening. I got a little puppy right now, so it's kept my hands full. So a lot of time to myself, I guess. It's been a good thing. It's definitely would like to be in season right now, as you would probably like to watching us, but it is what it is. 2020 has been a crazy year. Just hope everyone's healthy and safe.
Yeah, for sure. Have you guys been getting together as a team to do workouts or anything? Or
some of the guys from the States, Joel Figueroa, a couple other guys have stayed local, so we've been able to train together, but nothing in contact wise, just get to lift and stuff with each other, which is nice to have a couple of other big guys around, right?
Right, gotcha. Do you think there's going to be a CFL season this year?
I was more optimistic earlier. I'm not going to lie to you. Still optimistic on what could happen, but I don't think many players would be favored on playing a really, really shortened season. But if that's what they come up with an agreement with, I'm down to play. Like, this is what we do. So, yeah, I mean, give us the call and give us the time where we got to be. I'm ready to play, but I think they have to look at a lot of stuff with safety protocol and all that stuff. So, I commend every CFL player for being really patient, but, other people have lost their jobs and stuff too. So it's just been crazy. Like I said, 2020, first time for myself dealing with, this is the first time in 7 years I won't be playing a snap of football in June, Been doing that for a while. So, yeah, it's pretty I don't know. It sucks. It sucks not playing football. That's all I can say.
Yeah, for sure. I'm starting to read a lot of frustration out of the players too. So,
yeah, for sure, man. I don't blame a lot of guys. I tend not to use social media to express myself and those things, but some guys do. But I think we're all a little bit frustrated. I think fans included, probably. So
has Solomon Elimimian, has he been? I know he's been having meetings with the league. Has he been, doing his best to kind of keep you guys in touch? Or
yeah, I think from his end, from what he can share with us, he has been. I've been able to see Solomon local, so I think I think it just people higher than him, and things have to be worked out. But I think he's done a good job, the best he can do. So yeah, he's been a good leader in this.
Yeah, he seems to be a really good leader from what I've read in the CFLPA. So, yeah, perfect. So you were born in Port Coquitlam BC. What was your childhood like?
Pretty good, man. A lot of sports. I mean, been playing sports my whole life, but competitively got in, I play basketball every day with my friends walking home from school, but it all transitioned into playing. Went to Terry Fox, so played all three sports there in grade 9, wrestling, rugby, and football. Then eventually just started playing more football, but I started in grade 9. Yeah, man, it was pretty good. Poco, that's all, like my dad's side of the family is in Poco, so I'm a big fan of Port Coquitlam, but I'm not sure if many are. But it's been a city that's treated me well, man.
All right. So growing up so close to Vancouver, did you have ambitions to play with the BC Lions?
Yeah, for sure. Once I figured out what the CFL was and stuff like that, it was a bit foreign to me at first, just not playing football that till grade 9. And then once things got more serious with, okay, going to school for football now, and I had some looks in the States and all that, I just realized like, oh, okay, I guess I can, I could be playing in BC Place one day, or that was definitely a goal, man. It was nice. At the time, the Lions were dominant, man. They were filling out both sections of BC Place, and it was rocking. G. Roy was catching touchdowns. It was a good time to watch the Lions, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing with going to Lions games that I do miss is how they have the upper deck kind of sectioned off there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't had that outcome, but the goal is to one day fill it back up like that and have it rocking.
For sure. So you set weightlifting records in high school at Terry Fox Secondary, which still stand. How heavy were you lifting?
Pretty crazy, man. I was like I was really into lifting back then, like really chasing powerlifting numbers. I think in high school I benched 4 plates. So
Holy cow.
Yeah, I squatted 5 something, and what was it called? The hex bar deadlift.
Yeah.
I think it was like 600. So
Ooh.
I don't know how good that was for you back then, but it was in my mind, I was doing the right thing and progressing. Luckily, I never came out with no injuries and stuff like that from lifting, and I've been very fortunate to keep that strength. And I still enjoy lifting heavy, but it's just not one of my main things I focus on anymore. I don't think I can get too much stronger without actually hurting myself. So nowadays, workouts are more conditioning based, more to keep the metabolism and the weight correct. I'm not trying to be a big stiff, human being that gets some injuries. So training's evolved just like the sports evolved a lot more. It's a different game. It's a faster game.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I think the whole league's in just better shape in general because more guys are tending to care about what they put in their body, what they eat, how they lift, who they lift with. So, yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot, obviously, going through the process of being a meathead at first. Still a meathead, but, just, I guess, a safer one.
Or like a gym monkey, I guess you could say, meathead. Yeah.
Monkey, that was me at first. I just loved weight, ran and stuff, just wanted to move heavy weight. But it's I don't think it's super beneficial or transitional to football, but it's more football training,
For sure. I think one of my biggest problems is, I only work out in my basement. I'm a 41-year-old guy. I'm kind of getting up there in age, whatever. I think one of my problems is once I'm able to do something once, I have to do it again. And when I do that, I got to keep progressing. And I'm sure that maybe that was kind of the same mentality for you in high school.
100%. Yeah, man. It was just like, okay, I want to be better at this every week, and it's just always in the back of your mind. Yeah, definitely. That was definitely what my mindset was back then, It's just sort of addicted to getting that number up.
Yeah, for sure. And then if you've got any of your buddies that are into lifting, which I'm sure you had the whole team with you,
yeah,
you got to look good in front of your bros, right?
No, of course, man. In aspect, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and that mentality actually is what keeps me out of the gym in this day and age.
Yeah.
Because I'm too old to be trying to outpush anybody. It's not going to happen. Keep it steady. And
nowadays, maybe like a Friday session might get like that, but most of the time, guys are not trying to impress each other,
No, and that's the last thing you'd want to do is hurt yourself in the weight room, right?
That's just a bad look.
No one wants that. So those Terry Fox teams are some of the greatest teams to ever play BC high school football. What can you tell our listeners about them?
It was fun back then playing. We had, I would say between our offensive and defensive line back then, like for high school, we probably had some of the biggest guys around the Lower Mainland playing football. I played with guys who were 6'6" in high school, 300 pounds. Like we had legit dudes. Like they ended up playing for UBC, local schools, SFU. But yeah, back then, Coach McDonald, who's still there, Coach Kadaba, He played for the Lions, I believe. And the late coach, Kerry Lapa, they did a great job putting us, been making a football culture. I felt it was awesome back then. And that's all we knew, like we only hung out with our football team on and off the field. We were all we shared the same interest, and a lot of us wrestled together once football season was over. So I still talk to some of those guys. We have great memories together. We won 3 championships in a row, and then I lost my senior year. So it sucked to lose I wanted, if it'd be nice to get 4 in a row, that'd be cool, but it never happened. And we had I would say the high school level of football was pretty high too. We had, Centennial, Lamar Durant and those guys. Boseko Lacombo was for WJ Mowat at the time. It was a pretty competitive high school football league and made for some good football. I'm sure back in the day, if you go back, look at it now, maybe it was sloppy, but when you're playing, it was like pretty top notch.
Yeah, for sure. So back then, like Lamar Durant and Bo Lacombo, when you saw them and played against them, did you think these guys were going somewhere?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They're studs, standout guys. And when you're playing a team and you just know one guy's name and you've never met him, you're like, yeah, he's somebody, and they were, I would say, just athletically way ahead of their time for high school. And that, they're still successful football players and they still put on a good show. So it was a pleasure playing with those guys, man.
For sure. So you played with the Calgary Dinos from 2011 to 2014, where you were a CanWest All-Star and CIS All-Canadian in 2013 and 2014. What was your time like with the Dinos?
Yeah, that was another 4 fun years. It was good. We had a really dominant team. We went to one Vanier Cup. We lost that. We were up, I think, for three quarters, and then we lost. The Dinos recently just won a championship, which I'm super happy about. But yeah, back then, Laval was the team to beat, and that's who we lost to. But CIS was fun as well, man. You got to see a lot of guys, just like you see in high school. You're like, oh, that guy's going to be in the CFL, like playing against a guy like Nick Dembski, or Sean McEwen was another guy I played with. He's an outstanding lineman, and you get to see, there's still a little separation in CIS too on the guys that are going to get a pro shot. It was pretty cool to see. Coach Neil was an awesome guy, helped me a ton in the aspect of, I was like the first guy in my family to go to post-secondary. So that was pretty cool. And like I'm the first male to graduate with a degree in my family. So
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool at the time. And these were goals I set, but Coach Neil really, did a good job, mentored me and said, hey, this is an opportunity for you to, take advantage of this kind of stuff. Like I was away from my family and stuff, but it was definitely fun. It was fun, and it was, eye-opening to the world. And I think it really prepared me for the pro world,
Mm-hmm. How hard was it for you to be away from your family?
I think when you're 18, it was tough. I'm a bit of a mama's boy, so.
Me too.
Yeah. So yeah, first year, I mean, it was tough, but then, you just meet like-minded guys like yourself. And then I still talk to some of my good friends. Some of my best friends that I made were from the Dinos. And yeah, man, I just met like-minded individuals, start grinding with them, weight room, start living this, you have the same schedule. So that made it easier. And as you get older, I think it just gets easier.
For sure. So I do believe for your first couple of years with the Dinos, you played with one of my favorite players, that being Mike Edom. Oh
yeah, Mike's a good guy, man. Great football player.
Yeah, for sure. I've been trying to get him on the show. He's not on Facebook anymore, so I haven't really been able to talk to him. But I got a couple people out there trying to get him on the show for me.
I'll give him a shout too, man. I'll give him a shout.
Thanks, I appreciate that. He knows who I am, so.
Okay, no problem. I'll give him a shout, man.
Awesome, thanks, man. So another thing I was impressed with, so you had a visit with the University of North Carolina.
Yep.
So the Tar Heels are my favorite college team.
Nice.
So you also had interest from other teams south of the border, but what made you decide on playing with Calgary?
Well, Well, I would have liked to gone down south, but at the time, man, I just didn't apply myself in school as much as I should have, and I was I was unaware about the opportunities that I was getting as well. So I took my SATs and all that. I did all right on that, but my school average, I just wasn't applying myself in school. Like, not that I'm like don't like school or think I'm not that intellectual. I just didn't apply. I just was a jock and wanted to play sports and got by with some C's and stuff like that, but it wasn't enough to, go down south. Don't know how that would have worked out, but it would have been pretty cool to be a Tar Heel. But I think everything happens for a reason, and I am where I am. Took my own path, but yeah, it was cool. I got some interest down south. I just didn't even think I would get these shots or interests when I was in high school, because I was like I said, just in the weight room playing football, and then I got Washington State and North Carolina, Akron calling me. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Yeah.
So I guess at the time that kind of strokes the ego a little bit.
Yeah, for sure it does, man. But yeah, it's just a different level of funding down there. I got to take my official visit. Beautiful campus, Chapel Hill. Michael Jordan's old school. Like, it's amazing what they have over there. It would have been amazing to be a part of it, but I ended up going to the Dinos. The reason I chose the Dinos over any other Canadian team was Coach Nill. He recruited me, and he really sold me on like a good 4-year plan. Like, hey, I'm going to get you a degree. I'm going to get you a shot pro, and we have a plan. And at the time, I needed some structure, a plan in my life. I just didn't need to be like freelancing anything, I didn't want to waste time. So I'm very happy I did that.
For sure. And what did you get your degree in?
Major in communications, minor in geography.
Awesome. Good stuff. So what was your experience like in the NFL Super Regional Combine in 2015? What was that like?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of talent. So I went to a regional combine in Chicago, did very well there, and then got invited to the Super Regional in Arizona. And luckily, we were the first, O-linemen were the first guys getting tested. So we did some field work in the morning, but it was 9 a.m., so it was like it wasn't that hot out yet, but it got really hot in Arizona. Mm-hmm. It was a good time, man. It was fun, but there's a lot of athletes. I think only one guy from those combines ended up making it further. It's a slim chance, but I was still very excited and thrilled for the opportunity just to go and show my skills and maybe catch the eye of somebody. That's what it's all about. Just one guy needs to like you. So it was good, man. You just meet a lot of guys who are your same size, same build. You're like, okay, you're not the only 6'4", 310 guy. They all look the same. And yeah.
Yeah, they're all chasing the same dreams, the same goals.
Exactly, man. It's like one of the most competitive things I've probably been a part of. Guy, you're not talking to anyone. You're not really making friends. It's just like, let's go,
Game time. Yeah. So how did that compare, your experience in the NFL Combine, to the CFL Combine?
So when I was doing all those combines, I did one in Chicago, one in Arizona. And then at the third week, I ended up doing the CFL Combine too. So I was pretty beat up when I got to that point. But the CFL Combine differs. We got to put some pads on. So I was more excited for that part. And yeah, in the CFL Combine also was like getting all this hype around me, going first round, whatever. So it was a bit different going from all that NFL stuff that you're just a little minuscule on having a bigger spotlight on you, I guess. It was cool, very cool experience. And I think I held my own in the draft and secured a spot to go with the Bombers there.
Awesome. What were your expectations heading into the 2015 CFL draft?
Oh, I just wanted to get on a team, man, anywhere.
Yeah.
I was at that time, yeah, that was my mindset, was whoever picks me, I'm going to go try to earn my position, just try to earn my spot on the team. And that's still the mindset every year, is just to go into camp and earn your position and earn your spot on the team. And Yeah, it's different now because you know more about the league. But back then, I think it was whoever I got drafted to or wherever I'm going, I'm gonna go and give them all I got, man.
For sure, make the best of it.
Yeah.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers selected you second overall in the 2015 draft. What was your first camp like with the Blue Bombers?
Pretty crazy, pretty tough camp. I remember showing up for rookie camp 3 days before, and then you're already beat up for 3 days, and then the vets come in, and you're like, oh man, it got a lot faster. But I was fortunate enough, there was some injuries, and I got plugged in to play right guard right in camp, so I was getting really good looks, and I was getting high speed reps with vets, and I think I really took advantage of that, and that's what helped me a ton because I just got thrown in the fire and just like survive or it's not going to be your spot anymore. So I think I took advantage of that and never looked back. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity Mike O'Shea gave me. He put a lot of trust in me to start me week one, and I played all 18 games as a rookie. So it was pretty good.
So literally you did get thrown into the fire, and then you ended up starting in your first year with Winnipeg. What was that like?
That was fun, man. I know I was not the most technical guy on tape, but I was having a lot of fun out there. I had a good vet, Dominic Picard, with me, who was a center at the time. And he showed me a lot. He showed me a lot around the league. And I know I was raw, but I was just, I was putting a lot of effort out there. And I think they really liked that about me. And till this day, I think that's what every old lineman can. If one thing you really can't teach is the effort part, you can teach all the technique, which I still need to work on and all that, but I think I provide a lot of effort,
And I would assume too that a high level of effort also produces a player that's easier to coach.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you're more willing to be coached because you have some flaws,
Yeah, for sure. How big of an adjustment did you have to make in your game going from college to the CFL?
Oh, it's pretty big. I was a lot faster, a lot more physical game. Just got grown men out there, It was a pretty crazy, I would say. Just from the level of strength and speed compared to college football. You have guys who play in the NFL that you're going against now who are, one cut away from making the team, and I think it made me a lot better. I had to reach that level. I have to start blocking these type of athletes, and it's a huge jump, I would say. I was very fortunate just to get full speed reps and take advantage of that. So it was all a bit of a blur, but it was awesome.
Yeah. What is it like being in the trenches as an offensive lineman in the CFL?
Oh man, it depends on how you look at it. I think it's fun. Maybe you're a bit sore for a couple days after the game, but hey, it's what I signed up for. I enjoy it. I enjoy thumping around. I enjoy feeling it a bit. So it's fun. I think offensive linemen in the CFL, man, we got to be a little bit more nimble, a lot more going on, but it's fun. I enjoy it. And, got some Canadians on the offensive line. That's always nice, but you always your Americans are always your tackles, and those guys are awesome too. So, man, I think it's, I enjoy it. So I don't know if a smaller guy would enjoy all that, but it's fun to me.
That's crazy. Do you do a lot of trash talking down there?
I don't know. I'm not consider myself a big trash talker, sort of just in my own head, playing hard. And I know there's trash talking being done, but I don't take anything said out there. I don't take it to heart, or if I say something out of control, I probably just said it in the heat of moment,
Yeah, for sure. So your main goal, your number one focus, I guess you could say, is to protect the quarterback, and then kind of make a hole for the running back.
Yep.
But basically, you're in a position that doesn't have any stats. So do you have, how do you get up to playing all the time continuously? Like what drives you?
I think it's first of all, I think it's tough to do it without stats, but I think if you're going to play offensive line, you just got to enjoy being physical. And then as offensive lineman, we don't have stats, but you want to film and be like, threw your weight around, you had fun, you had some pancakes, or you guys picked up a great blitz. That, there's a little bit more that the average person wouldn't understand about it, because it might just seem like, oh, we're big guys who get in the way. But I pride myself on putting a big, a tape out there that's you're smashing people, pancakes, and all that. And the day also you're protecting the most valuable thing on the field. So sometimes that's a big motivating factor,
Mm-hmm. So what are some of your favorite memories in your time with the Blue Bombers?
Oh, I think beating Saskatchewan in when they opened up the new Mosaic Stadium, the Bombers beat them.
Yeah.
And then a couple Banjo Bowls. Those are good rivalries when it's rocking out there, It gets loud in both of those stadiums. In Investors Group and the new Mosaic, it gets really loud.
I was going to ask you some questions coming up here about the Banjo Bowls.
Yeah.
So in 2018, you were named a West Division All-Star. What did the recognition as an All-Star mean to you?
Oh, man, that's one thing for every player. When we play in this league, we want just recognition from our peers. And that was awesome to have. I'm not, as an offensive line, I'm not chasing these things. I'm just, hoping to stay healthy, play good football every week in and week out. It was awesome to get that recognition by your peers, That was really cool. I think I got the CFL PA All-Star right after that. So I think that's even a bigger one when your players recognize you. So, man, it was humbling, and it was awesome to have.
How excited were you to sign with the BC Lions?
Oh, man, extremely excited to come back home. And, as a kid, I played most of my championship games in BC Place. So that's always nice to come back. I had some, flashbacks of winning some provincial titles. But now the goal is to bring a Grey Cup down Granville, man. That's the goal here. And we're really hoping to do that. Of course, last year wasn't anything that we wanted, but I think we all learned from it. We got a little chip on our shoulder. But being back home and having my mom come to every game is awesome. My family's close, and I really enjoy that, man. It's something I've missed for a long time. When I played in Calgary, they weren't able to come out there too much. Winnipeg, they would come out once or twice a year, but they're season ticket holders now. A lot of my uncles they come. Wow. And they're in the stands, man. They're pumped up.
So that's really got to motivate you and get you going.
That's all. It's big time motivation.
For sure. So how many tickets are you giving out during the home games?
It was a lot in the beginning, and now it's calmed down because a lot of people started buying their own. But then the first game, I had to get I couldn't get that many free tickets, but I ended up giving around 20, 30 out just like that, but other people bought them too. So,
yeah, that's cool. So you played in 8 games last year for the Lions before you went down with a leg fracture. Yeah. How difficult was it for you to have to watch the rest of the season from the sidelines?
Yeah, that's my first big injury of my career. I was pretty pissed off, not gonna lie. Just not ideal, man. Just came over here to prove myself to be a good lineman, and unfortunate injury happened. I had no control over, because it's not like I wasn't well conditioned or anything like that. I had a fracture in my fibula, and tried to play through it. Just it wasn't ideal to play through, and just the year that we were having, I think it's tougher. I'd rather be on the field with the guys than to watch some of the outcomes. So it's definitely in the past for me, and I'm just looking forward to getting back on the field and proving to myself that that last year I'm just not too happy with that last year personally, and as a team just wasn't my year.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's well documented that the Lions' offensive line struggled last year to protect Mike Riley. What were some of the difficulties that the O-line faced?
I think a lot of shuffling too. We had a couple new centers, guys playing out of position spots, and I think O-line, you need a camaraderie thing. You need to be around each other a little bit longer. You can't just plug and play guys. I think that was one of the things that we were a tight-knit group in Winnipeg, but we developed that. We had guys who came back on contracts, and I think that's the path we're going down here, where we're going to be able to keep a good core group of guys, and then you really develop that communication where, you're pretty much talking without talking, and That's a big part of the offensive line game is communication, and I think we lacked that a bit, or we just didn't have that because we were shuffling guys around so much. But I totally feel better about all the guys staying back in this offseason. If this COVID-19 thing didn't happen or whatever, I think we were on a good track, So last year was difficult in the aspect of, we got reamed out a little bit, and it was well deserved. We had the most sacks in the league. As an offensive lineman, that's not even a category I want to be on the bottom of, So, very tough year. I think it was super tough to be a part of it, and I'm just happy that we're moving on, and we look forward to protecting Mike Riley better.
So I would assume that was probably one of your worst years as a player.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, my rookie year in Winnipeg, I was 2015. We went 5-13 as well, and we were let up a lot of sacks. So it just reminded me of that. Like, I know we all got to start somewhere to start building, but it just sucks getting the quarterback hit that many times and coming home, losing a game, turning it on. Oh, the offensive line. I don't understand it all. I understand that it was our fault and we could take pride in it and all that, but I know it's a step in the right direction.
That kind of led into my next question for you, which was going to be, when you're coming home or you're seeing this in the media and like all over the radio, all over the news, you got to start to feel the weight on your shoulders after a while.
I think we're conditioned a bit better to not let the outside noise seep in too much, but at the end of the day, it's when it's everywhere, you hear you, but it's not even the media sometimes, as a player walking into your locker room or your film room, and you, as the offensive line, you played a bad game. We just felt like we let some other teammates down too. So, yeah, from the media and stuff, I try not to let that stuff really affect me. But yeah, I mean, when it's the headline, like the Lions' offensive line is not doing well, it's not a good thing.
No, and it can go down as a growing period. Another hole in the belt buckle, so to speak, and onward and upward, right?
Exactly, man. That's how I'm looking at it.
So what kind of challenges have you faced during your career?
I would say the injury was a tough one, playing through some injuries, but I got to see a lot in Winnipeg. Like I said, in 2015, we were not that great of a team, but we ended up being a West final in 2018. So I know that you have to stick it out a little bit, and it comes slowly. Some teams faster, but I'd say that's some of the stuff that you're in the CFL. You got to be willing to stick out a bit and watch your team develop. So because as you know, it's 1-year contracts, a lot of turnaround. It's about keeping that core group of guys together. I think that makes the ultimate factor there. Okay.
So speaking of 1-year contracts, a question that I've been meaning to ask and it hasn't come across yet, but it will now. Let's just say there's no season this year.
Yeah.
And these guys on these 1-year contracts, is that a year spent on that contract? Did they become free agents?
I think right now the CBA is trying to work it out. I mean, the CFLPA and the negotiation, they're trying to work it out. I think they're trying to limit how many guys are going to be free agents if the season doesn't pan out. Because it will be a flooded market, I believe. But I think that's something they've resolved or are resolving, and we've yet to get an update on that, but I'm sure it's something that they have to look into big time.
For sure, and I just thought of it too, actually, speaking of flooded market, I would assume that would drive the price of the players down.
Yeah, something would happen. I think it would definitely go down. Too many people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's where I am with that. I don't think that's beneficial to anyone.
No, I don't either. What would you be doing if you weren't playing football?
Oh, man. Or something.
Sorry, I lost the audio there. What'd you say?
Probably some construction or something, man.
Okay.
Building something pretty good with my hands and some tools. So.
Okay, right on. Who is the hardest defensive lineman that you've ever had to line up against?
Ooh. Oh, right now that's active, who's still playing. I think he's a beast, Armando Sewell.
Okay, yeah.
He's the guy, you're pretty much not going to move him by yourself. And if you're lined up with him one-on-one, you better you better anchor down because either he's throwing you around or he's trying to bull rush you. So, I think we have mutual respect for each other, and we always have some good battles, and pleasure going against that guy all the time.
I was just going to say, too, I'm sure if I asked some of the defensive linemen who the hardest offensive lineman is to go against, a lot of them are probably going to pick you.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
So who have been the biggest inspirations during your career?
I think just my parents in general, just, they're immigrant people. Man, me playing football, I always look back at it like you don't see many, East Indian guys playing football. I'm pretty proud of that. But a big influence in my football career, I would have to say, is Coach Nail. He helped me a ton, man. He just showed me that, with football, I could get school paid for and have a shot pro. And I got a degree, all because this guy, sort of gave me a bit of a structure and a plan. And I really appreciate him for that.
For sure. So we're nearing the end of our show today with Sukh Chungh. It's time for our episode of You Didn't Know with Sukh Chungh. Get some one-word answers from you. Favorite NFL team?
Oakland Raiders.
Favorite music artist?
Nipsey Hussle.
Okay. So I asked my girlfriend this last night, and she got me some crazy answers on this one. First time for this question with Sukh Chungh. If you were stuck on an island and could have one thing, what would you bring?
Ooh, what's the thing to make fire? The flint thing?
Okay, yeah.
I'd probably get that, and I don't know, I'll probably make a weapon out there and start grilling some meat or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm assuming there's a tree on this island, right? So,
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
So everything that I threw at her last night as an answer, it basically came to death. She's like, "You're dead in 3 days." So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with one piece of whatever I'm bringing, but hey, maybe clean. I don't know. That's a tough one.
It's worth a shot, right?
Yeah.
All right, Drew Brees or Tom Brady?
Oh, Tom Brady.
Okay. Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Michael Jordan.
Thank you. First car.
Nissan Altima.
Okay, I had a Nissan Maxima.
Hey, that's a bit better, I think.
Yeah, that was my second car. All right, another funny question for you: shower or bath?
Oh, shower.
Thank you. Okay, so I had Milt Stiegel on last week, and he was saying shower, but the cold tub. He still does.
Yeah. Yeah, the cold tub. I mean, I can't take a bath at home. I'm too big for my bathtub. Cold tub for sure. Yeah.
Do they make a supersized bathtub or?
Yeah, they probably do, but not in my small little condo.
No, and I assume you have the same problems in hotels, right?
Yeah.
Do aliens exist?
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. What scares you the most?
Ooh, I don't know, man. Uncertainty. I don't know.
The unknown? Yeah.
Unknown, yeah. There's a lot.
There is a lot, especially in this time and age.
Exactly. Oh, man, it's a crazy year. You got to be careful what you're saying and doing, and it's just wild, man. I think a lot of people just have a lot of free time on their hands right now.
They do, which is what started this. And I do think, too, is it creates growth in us. It's challenging. We find ways to adapt and we grow. Right?
Yeah. I think it's a good time, good to have some time for yourself and really get to the bottom of what you really want to do, right?
That's right. So one last thing with you. What kind of advice would you give to a young high school player that's coming up and playing football?
Oh, man, stay focused, stay with your school, and just stay, it's not anything that's happening right now. It's not too important other than school and whatever sports you're playing, because all that stuff's always going to be around. You're not going to miss too much. And just remember that if you do well in school and sports, you can get your education paid for and maybe even become a pro athlete. So, yeah.
That's a great message. I agree. Especially these young cats in this day and age, they seem quite focused on social media or handheld devices or video games.
I didn't grow up in the social media age, but yeah, I think everyone's on their phone a ton, So put the phone down, pick up some weights, go throw the ball around with your friends, man. Stay focused.
For sure. All right, Sukh, I appreciate you coming on today, this episode of 3rd and 1.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man. It was awesome.
It's been good.
Thank you for joining us this week on this episode of 3rd and 1. Please remember to subscribe, leave a review, or share this show.